You are not just here. Your heart brought you here at this very moment for a reason. The reason is that someone who used to stand beside you in the light, whose heart echoed with yours, is trying to cross the barrier that separates this world from the other world. Not once, not twice, but countless times they whisper your name. And right now the heavens are trembling, so they have called upon the power of Archangel Michael to deliver this message before it is forgotten forever. Listen carefully, my dear, before it is too late. Before proceeding with the message, write, "I received and accepted with love" in the comments and seal it with 222. You can strengthen this connection with a $20 super thank you. Now Michael is here. His sword is drawn, not to fight, but to protect you from something you cannot yet see, even though the sky is silent. Only you can respond to the voice from the other side, pleading to speak with your soul, someone you loved dearly, who has passed away but has never left your side, is trying to show you something. A warning, a reality, an important time. According to Archangel Michael, if you ignore this, a door will close, and until it's too late, not even heaven will reopen it. They attempted to communicate through dreams, shivers, and music that seemed to play just as you were ready to lose it. You sensed them. You simply had no idea how real that was. However, God says it can't be silent tonight. Your name is ringing like a bell after being pronounced in the land beyond, because something hidden is going to happen in your life, and you need their voice to help you navigate it. The energy of that deceased person is gently but firmly around you. Your soul already knows the truth, which is why your hands are shaking. They were there for you in spirit even before you clicked on this message. That is the speed at which love transcends death. The warning isn't meant to frighten you. Archangel Michael is now standing behind them, placing his hand on their shoulder and stating, "We must speak now or never." It's to get you ready. Unknowingly, you are about to enter a situation that has the potential to alter your life. That loved one anticipates it. They don't fear for their own safety. They are worried about you. Dove, there is a divine purpose why you are already being led to this. To remain in touch with more messages that are delivered to protect, prepare, and transform your spirit. Please subscribe if you believe that this message speaks directly to you and your heart is open. One word from God can completely alter your course. Michael is aware of your hardships, that loved one, the struggles in your heart, the quiet of unanswered prayers, and the fights in your thoughts. They have been silently observing every tear you have wiped away without anybody else noticing. They do not wish to frighten you. They wish to console you. They must, however, also disclose something that has been kept from you. Something regarding a choice you've made or are about to make that you don't entirely understand. They witnessed a person approach you with seemingly good intentions, but heaven has seen their dark sides. This person is not who they seem, regardless of whether you recently trusted them or they are about to enter your life. And the person who used to defend you on Earth is attempting to do it from space once more. They've been giving you warning signs that pass for anxiousness, intuition, or sporadic memories. It wasn't a random act. They were that. Archangel Michael attests to it as well. It's more than just a message. A spiritual intervention is what it is. Because your timeline is changing, heaven intervened. A fake chronology is attempting to pass for a miracle, while a heavenly one is waiting for you. They want you to avoid making the same mistake again, which is why the voice on the other end is sobbing. They can see the future. What you cannot see, They can. They are now pleading with you to pay attention. Open your eyes, please. Please have faith in your feelings, even if they don't make sense. Perhaps you're asking, but why now? Since the window is about to close. In the spiritual world, some things happen according to divine time, and this is a moment like that. You can miss the shift that was supposed to fix everything if you put it off. A series of miracles will start if you take action, even if it's just by recognizing their existence and paying closer attention. Archangel Michael tells you, don't walk away from this. Don't treat this like any other message, because if you truly knew how much war was being fought in the unseen for your protection, you'd fall to your knees in awe. It begins with one step, one moment of faith, and one whisper into the silence that says, I'm ready, I'm listening. With shaken lips, this loved one stepped before God's throne and uttered your name. Then we shall speak, God said. Forward, Michael. Forward the signs. You're still here, so your soul already knows that this is not a coincidence. That's how precious your next step is, and that's how significant this moment is. Send the call. It starts with a peculiar sensation in your chest, followed by that calm inner voice that says, something is about to happen. Your breath may be steady, but with every syllable your spirit is awakening. The deceased loved one is reaching out to you once more, hoping that you won't close your heart this time. You're not imagining it. That's the echo of a heavenly conversation that contained your name. Because this moment was etched into your spiritual script before you were even born, your life and this warning are not random. Someone from the other side, whose memory still brings tears to your eyes, is not at rest. Archangel Michael leans in, watching your every heartbeat. His wings remain motionless, but his presence changes the atmosphere. They tried sending signs through dreams, coincidences, flashes of scent or sound that reminded you of them, but they are unable to contain it any longer, not because they are lost, but because they know you are going to confront something you don't yet see coming. Michael is raising his voice now, not out of anger, but out of love. They have been trying to tell you that someone around you is wearing a mask, and if you trust them without clarity, it may cost you emotionally, financially, or even spiritually. You may have dismissed it thinking it was nostalgia, but it was actually a real-time message wrapped in a memory. Archangel Michael leans in, watching your every heartbeat. Child of light, he says, don't let yourself sleepwalk through this spiritual war. Open your discernment. Your soul is far more powerful than you realize, and right now, you need to feel your way through the unseen. The person you're missing is right beside you now, and the urgency in their energy is growing. Because this moment was etched into your spiritual script before you were even born, your life isn't random, and this warning isn't either. Someone from the other side, someone whose memory still makes you cry, isn't at rest. His wings don't move, but his presence changes the feel of the air. They tried sending signs through dreams, through coincidences, through flashes of scent or sound that reminded you of them, they said. Not because they're lost, but because they know you're about to face something that you don't yet see coming, and they can't hold it back anymore. Michael is raising his voice now, not out of anger, but out of love. They have been trying to tell you that someone around you is wearing a mask, and if you trust them without clarity, it may cost you emotionally, financially, or even spiritually. You may have dismissed it, thinking it was nostalgia, but it was actually a real-time message wrapped in a memory. The person you're missing is right next to you, right now, and the urgency in their energy is growing. Can you feel the goosebumps? That's not just emotion. Child of light, he says, do not allow yourself to sleepwalk through this spiritual war. Open your discernment. Your soul is far more powerful than you realize. They loved you passionately, and that bond doesn't go away when you die. It changes. They've been given permission to go closer tonight because something has reached the last hour, and a door is opening, but it won't be open for long. That's spiritual contact. Your spirit is recognizing their energy. They're whispering a name to you, whether it's a name you've been hearing at random or someone you've suddenly begun thinking about more frequently. If you dismiss their call, the chance for protection could be lost. It's not your imagination. That's the name of the person involved in this impending situation. A $40 donation is like the North Star guiding a lost soul at sunset. God is watching too, and he says this tenderly. I have sent angels, dreams, and voices to guide you. Your former loved one is telling you to stop, think, and listen. You need to look deeper into that situation. Don't move too fast. Don't trust too quickly. There's something hidden, and if you don't slow down, you'll miss the divine clue. I have given you free will, but I have also given you spiritual instincts, so when anything feels wrong, I and the people you love are attempting to bring you back before the harm is done. This is your lifeline, a spiritual checkpoint. You are not forgotten, but I will not make you listen. Ignoring it could have far-reaching effects that go beyond what you can see right now. But how do I know this is really for me? You might ask yourself. The explanation is straightforward. As you read the first few sentences, your heart skipped. That wasn't fear, it was alignment, and your soul was reminded of what it already knew. You were supposed to see this, to be warned. Above all, you were intended to be spared from something that was disguised as good, but was actually based in deception. The warning is given with grace rather than punishment. The deceased person does not want you to panic, but rather to get ready. They want you to be strong rather than afraid. They want you to understand that a change is about to occur. Michael says, pay attention to the energy, not just the words. And if you align yourself with their voice and heaven's wisdom, you won't just avoid trouble. You'll walk into blessings you never saw coming. But you must choose wisely. Not everyone in your life right now was sent by God. Who drains you after you speak to them? Who brings confusion instead of clarity? It's not your fault. Your loved one is calling out from the other side because they want you to break the cycle they once fell into. It's not just about protection. It's about discovering your true path. That's your soul telling you something. You're being set up for something better. But first, you have to release what's wrapped in disguise. Your loved one sees it. They went through something similar, and now they're watching, hurting, hoping you'll hear them when they say, don't let history repeat itself. You've been feeling stuck lately, haven't you? As if something invisible is preventing you from moving forward. That's because a spiritual fog has surrounded you, caused by people or patterns that don't belong to your destiny. They're not angry or disappointed, rather they're desperate in the sweetest way possible because they know that if you face this moment head-on, your entire life will realign, bringing peace, opening doors, and eventually the healing you've been praying for. But first, you have to listen. Even if your mind is still catching up, it's okay because this type of message is meant for the soul, not the head. Your spirit already knows the voice calling to you, even if you can't hear it clearly yet. That voice from the other side is trembling but determined, and it is calling your name with fierce love rather than fear. Archangel Michael is holding his sword tighter now, not because he wants a fight, but because he is getting ready to protect you once you allow him to do so. The enemy of your peace is close by. The person who hides their intentions behind gentle smiles and kind words is more dangerous than they seem. Your loved one sees through them, because what is coming could either be a breakthrough or a breakdown, and the result depends on how you react during this very window of time. Don't blame yourself for not seeing it earlier. They've been trying to show you through little hiccups in your daily life, such as lost items, missed appointments, or unexpected waves of tension or sadness in a room. These aren't just coincidences. They're cues, alarms, or silent messages attempting to get your attention. It took some suffering to wake you up, but now that the spiritual veil is thin enough, you can hear what has been trying to reach you since that day that soul crossed into the next life. You weren't ready then, but you are now, which is why this message found you. God doesn't send revelation before you're strong enough to handle it. They simply relocated to a higher vantage point, which allows them to see more clearly, and they know that you are about to cross a pivotal fork in the road, where one way leads to plenty, healing, alignment, and truth, while the other leads to regret, loss, and spiritual delay. They did not abandon you. Don't blame yourself for not seeing it earlier. You weren't ready then, but you are now, which is why this message found you. God doesn't send revelation before you're strong enough to handle it. If you walk blindly, you'll end up where someone else wants you to be. However, if you stop and listen carefully, you'll walk where heaven meant for you to go. The spiritual veil is finally thin enough for you to hear what has been trying to reach you since that soul's journey into the next life. They didn't abandon you. They were simply transferred to a higher vantage point. And now that they have more vision, they can see that you are about to enter a pivotal fork in the road. You had to endure some pain to awaken. Time is limited, which is why Michael is here. If you walk blindly, you will end up where someone else wants you to be. If you stop and listen, you will walk where heaven is meant for you. One path leads to truth, alignment, healing, and abundance. The other leads to regret, loss, and spiritual delay. Your soul already knows. You've been sensing it. And that's why that loved one keeps whispering, "Please don't ignore this." However, the person feigning to protect you might be the one confusing you. They don't wear darkness. They wear the perfect disguise. What will you do now that you have the confirmation? Don't be hurried, but don't put it off either. To begin, think back to the last time you felt totally at peace. Who was in your life at that time? What changed after that? Who entered or re-entered your space around that time? Look there. That's where the secret lies. That strange restlessness you've been carrying, that heaviness that comes and goes without explanation. Is your inner compass telling you that this situation, this connection, or this decision requires your highest discernment, not your emotions? Your loved one is attempting to show you the precise piece of the puzzle you've been missing, and if you pay attention, the whole picture will become clear. God is not the author of confusion. Though heaven is full of love, earth is full of choices, and since you're still here, your decisions will affect your future. However, you're not alone in those decisions. Your angels, your former loved one, and the Spirit of Truth are all with you now. You just need to acknowledge them. If you feel compelled, say it aloud. You're being awakened because you're about to blossom into something beautiful, and heaven can't allow weeds to grow beside your roots. Right now, this close to your breakthrough, that's why things have felt heavy. I hear you. I'm listening. Show me the truth. And they will. If you plant a seed of love worth $60, every branch that grows from that seed will bring hope to someone else. Your loved one is crying in spirit, not in pain, but in hope. They know how close you are to getting it right this time. They're proud of how far you've come. They're protective because they saw what almost broke you before. That's why you've been wondering who truly loves you and who's just acting that way. And that's why the same patterns keep appearing even after you thought you were healed. They are determined to reach you, even if it means shaking the heavens. You don't have to do this alone any longer. Talk to them, light a candle, write a note, whisper their name, and ask for their guidance. The connection has never been broken, and they won't sit quietly while a similar storm brewing behind someone's fake kindness. Michael says your name again, this time more urgently. You've just been too distracted to feel it clearly. But now you know. Now you see. And now the choice is yours. Will you pause before trusting someone new? Will you question that too good to be true opportunity? Will you go back and review that recent conversation that didn't sit right in your spirit? Or will you press on without praying, without pausing, and risk losing what heaven is trying to protect? This is your window, and the voice calling your name from the other side has been given permission to reach you. Don't allow that permission be wasted, because there's still a reason you're receiving this. Your soul hasn't closed the door. That loved one, yes, the very one who once held you, laughed with you, protected you, and perhaps even clashed with you, is right here, closer than ever, whispering truths wrapped in mercy, not to haunt you, not to burden you, but to protect you from what your natural eyes cannot yet detect. Meanwhile, Michael stands behind them, his wings casting light over your future, urging you to wake up before this chance fades like smoke in the night. And because of that, heaven is still speaking. You've been experiencing it, haven't you? That odd constriction in your chest, that sporadic surge of emotion when you weren't even considering anything depressing, that sudden desire to alter your course, all of it is spiritual. You're going through a transition, and during transitions, the enemy frequently sends imitations. Imitation peace, imitation love, imitation opportunity. Your loved one is well aware of this strategy and is yelling from above, "Please, not this time. Avoid being duped by the copy. There is a lot of light ahead for you. It's full of wonders, but only if you give it room. How can you receive what is genuine if your hands are gripping something that never existed?" They are requesting that you listen, let go, and make a decision because of this. And if you do, oh, if you do, you'll notice a change that will make your life feel like heaven once more. You will no longer need to strive for peace. It will meet you in your current location. But first, the truth must be revealed, and it may hurt to hear that truth. Your loved one has been heartbreakingly observing you because they know something you don't yet know, and it may be about someone you trusted, someone you protected, or someone you made excuses for. That the motives of this individual were never good, that their relationship with you was intended to postpone rather than to provide. The reason your loved one is stepping in is precisely because you could be inclined to ask yourself, "But what if I'm wrong?" Heaven has already attempted to close the wound years ago, and they don't want you to wander blindly into it. Don't disregard your gut any longer. Your intuition is not flawed. It's heavenly communication when you feel a chill when you read their name, and a sudden tenseness in your body as you consider that potential. Now, your loved one is using your senses, emotions, and instincts to help you see what your eyes were unable to see. They're giving you verbal guidance. However, you have to give them room to guide you. But first, the truth must be revealed, and it may hurt to hear that truth. It might be about a loved one who has been observing you, someone you trusted, someone you defended, or someone you made excuses for. It's heartbreaking because they know things you don't, that the motives of this individual were never good, that their relationship with you was intended to postpone rather than to provide. The reason your loved one is stepping in is precisely because you could be inclined to ask yourself, "But what if I'm wrong?" Heaven has already attempted to close the wound years ago, and they don't want you to wander blindly into it. Don't disregard your gut any longer. Your intuition is not flawed. It's heavenly communication when you feel a chill when you read their name and a sudden tenseness in your body as you consider that potential. Now your loved one is using your senses, emotions, and instincts to help you see what your eyes were unable to see. They're giving you verbal instruction, but you have to give them room. Do you recall that time years ago when you nearly made the same error? Because you were desperate at the time, you didn't fall for it. You wanted to believe in someone, so you fell for it. You're smarter this time, but the warning is louder and the disguise is more effective. Because the time is right, heaven had to interrupt your day with this important communication. This was not intended for you to discover afterward. Before the next discussion, the next signing, or the next meeting, you were supposed to locate it now. Prior to the subsequent one, yes, that might have a domino effect on your life. In spirit, that loved one is standing next to you, whispering, "Please read between the lines and take a deep breath before answering yes." This is an invitation to stop, think, pray, open your inner eyes and look more closely. Please ask God for a confirmation. If you'll just ask, I'll show you the truth. To feel, not to be afraid, because your spirit is always telling the truth. Heaven is now realigning your soul, which is the compass, even when people and circumstances are ideal. When was the last time you had a gut feeling before something happened? It wasn't a coincidence. You have a talent. You're paying attention. They're keeping an eye on you. This message serves as evidence. Heaven is still thinking about you. Your ex-lover has not deserted you, and even if you strayed from your path, God has not abandoned it. Spiritual beings who are fighting for your future in the unseen are all around you right now. You won't even be aware of the things you've been shielded from. However, since it's a decision point, you must see and understand this one. A doorway. Additionally, you won't be the same after passing through. Michael is therefore fervently observing your next move. Pay attention to the signs. If something doesn't feel right, it does. Your clue is when someone speaks flawlessly, yet drains your soul. Take a moment if anything seems too wonderful to be true. Request confirmation. Make a peace request. Heaven doesn't function by applying pressure. It passes through tranquility. And no matter how bright it appears, God is not present if there is no peace. If you give a thank you gift worth $75, it will be like the first raindrops falling on a parched heart. Your loved one wishes you would no longer have to bear the weight they previously did. Perhaps they were tricked once. Perhaps they lost something from which they never got it back. Perhaps they regretted not speaking up sooner and went on. By God's help, however, they are now speaking loudly, forcefully, and with love that is so powerful that it transcends all dimensions. They only want you to believe them this time. Perfection is not what they're aiming for. Just pay attention. You only need to whisper once. You're heard. You just need to pause once before moving on. Just one willful submission to God's will. That's plenty to change your whole narrative. Now is your chance. The curtain remains open. The message continues to reverberate. The angels remain assembled. Are you going to respond? Will you pay attention to what your spirit is pleading with you to do? Not only are you closer than ever to hearing them, but you're also getting to enter a version of your life free from the deception, confusion, and disappointment that torment you now. As your spirit gets ready to make a decision, Archangel Michael leans in closer than you may imagine. It's your pivotal moment, and they haven't taken their eyes off you, that loved one. The spirit has advanced too far for them to stop talking at this time, and you'll hear it if you turn off everything else. This is your chance to see. You see, God doesn't send warnings to punish, but to protect. And when the message comes with such urgency that the veil between life and death is pulled aside, that's not a moment to take lightly. You have cried out for clarity so many times, and now it's here. "This is clarity," they whispered, their voice shaking with love. You may ask, "How do I know who this person is?" This is confirmation. This is the message your soul has been waiting to hear before moving forward. And here's your response. The person who makes you doubt your value and drains your energy without bringing you peace. Heaven is warning you about that connection, the one who never fully reveals their heart, but wants access to yours. Your loved one has witnessed what this person says behind closed doors, and what they conceal behind their eyes. And they are here, pleading with you to avoid falling for it again. Perhaps you are hoping for a sign that this person will change. That loved one tried to do that once, and they still carry that sorrow in their spirit. They don't want that life for you. Perhaps you're clinging to their potential, but potential is not the same as presence. Heaven is telling you not to risk your future on someone who doesn't want to grow. Your spirit has been uneasy for a reason, and that is your shield and your divine alarm. Heaven is now confirming that you are not being paranoid. Rather, you are being warned. This is not just a relationship problem. It is a spiritual trap that has been disguised as comfort, love, or opportunity. He invites you to wisdom, vision, and alignment. And even now, the deceased has never ceased praying for you. Every angel in the room is encircling your name in intercession, and they want you to make decisions based on truth rather than desperation. The version of you that is waiting on the other side of this decision is stronger, wiser, and free, and that version of you doesn't have to shrink to keep someone else comfortable. This is more than just a relationship problem. It's a spiritual trap that has been disguised as opportunity, love, or comfort. Keep in mind that it's not just about who's around you, it's about who you're becoming. God is so patient with you. Even now, He doesn't force your hand. Instead, He invites you into insight, into vision, and into harmony. Your soul has been unsettled for a purpose, and that's your shield, your divine alarm. Heaven is confirming now. It's not just about who's around you, it's about who you're becoming. The version of you that is waiting on the other side of this choice is stronger, wiser, and free. And that version of you doesn't have to shrink to keep someone else comfortable. And the person who passed away, they've never stopped praying for you. Every angel in the room with them is surrounding your name with intercession, and they want you to make your next decision based on truth rather than desperation. This is your awakening. The realignment has started. Michael says you've spent enough time questioning your value, enough time forgiving people who don't pour back into your spirit, enough time remaining silent when your soul was yelling for the truth. And that version of you knows how to trust your intuition because you've learned it's the language of heaven. The work of this message is the miracle of divine timing. Yes, it will be uncomfortable, and you will grieve the illusions, but the things God has planned for you will be worth every tear. Can you feel the chains of fear, guilt, and confusion starting to come loose? That voice from the other side is softer now, not because they're giving up, but because they know you're listening. Last week, you weren't supposed to hear this. You weren't prepared. However, today, your heart is cracked just enough for the light to pour in. And that's how healing starts. Not in certainty, but in surrender. You remember their laughter, their counsel, the way they looked at you when you were about to make a mistake. That's them now, still watching, still guiding, still hoping you won't lose yourself trying to please people who weren't meant to hold your heart. Your spirit is reacting even if your mind doesn't understand. What happens next? You listen. You wait. You ask heaven for a sign. You trust what comes. Even if it surprises you, you guard your peace as if it were sacred because you are sacred. And anything that doesn't honor that no longer gets to stay. You may be tempted to give an explanation to the person you're leaving, but you don't have to. You have bigger things ahead. That loved one will be with you through this. You'll feel them more clearly now. Peace doesn't need permission. Growth doesn't need approval. You don't need to be understood by someone who wasn't meant to be in your future. Let them wonder. Let them watch from a distance. They're talking, not always in words, but in the quiet ways the soul knows are real. You've made it this far, so you're strong enough to walk the rest. Heaven hasn't forgotten you. You might dream of them soon. You might feel their presence when you light a candle, go for a walk in the outdoors, or listen to a song that brings them to mind. If you say yes to your spirit, yes to truth, yes to clarity, and yes to the version of yourself that is no longer willing to ignore red flags just to feel accepted, you are done dimming your light for people who aren't ready to see it. The angels and your loved one haven't stopped fighting for you, and they haven't stopped loving you, not even for a moment. They would cross eternity just to protect you from this moment, and in many ways, they already have. Take a deep breath, not just with your lungs, but with your soul as well, and let this last part to flood into you like warm light, touching the coldest parts of your spirit. This is your warning. This is your healing. This is your miracle. And the old cycle ends here. The message was never intended to frighten you. Rather, it was sent to remind you that you are never alone. The voice on the other end didn't come to say goodbye again. Rather, it said, "Wake up. You are more powerful than you realize, and you've spent too much time wondering if you're just dreaming about the signs." However, heaven sees everything. Archangel Michael says, "And now heaven is moving. Your life is about to shift. But you must take your place in that shift. You must step into alignment, even if it means walking alone at first, because what you're walking into is so much bigger than what you're walking away from." "This is not just about protection," he says one last time, his voice like thunder wrapped in peace. "Giving $100 is not just money. It is a candle, a prayer, a new beginning for a soul left in darkness. That loved one whose face still flickers in your memory like a sacred flame is now smiling. This is about your rise. The pain tried to delay you. The distractions tried to consume you. But now the light is here. Don't delay. Don't sleep on this moment. The heavens don't cry out like this often. This is divine order. Heaven has always desired someone who is willing to listen, feel, and obey the pull of their spirit over the pressure of their environment. They see the change in you and know that you are finally hearing them. They don't need you to be perfect. They just need you to be present. Indeed, the days ahead may require you to let go of those you believed would be a part of your forever. But in exchange, you will have space for those who truly and truly love you, those who don't drain you, those who don't perplex you, those who give your soul a sense of security and visibility. That's the exchange, and that's the promise. You must first choose truth over familiarity and peace over pretending. You may feel grief rising, but allow it to happen because it means you are letting go of old illusions, making room for your true tribe, the spiritual family God has ordained to pour into your purpose rather than pull from your power, and losing the people who truly matter, the ones who blocked the ones who do. The whole angelic army that has followed you since birth is still waiting for your next command. They won't act until you do. They won't fight a battle you continue to stay in voluntarily. That starts with this decision right here, right now. You are the answer to someone's prayer in heaven. You may not think of yourself as powerful yet, but they do. God does. Michael does. Sometimes a miracle is an ending that saves your future, and right now, the miracle is that this message even reached you. But the moment you choose truth, oh, the gates will open, and what you lost will be replaced by double. Miracles don't always look like magic. Sometimes they look like clarity, peace, and freedom from the confusion that has been weighing on your chest for far too long. If you listen, if you truly listen, the next few months will be unlike anything you've ever experienced. You'll feel lighter, sharper, and safer. The miracle is that heaven let a soul return long enough to warn, "Don't go that way. There's danger in that route. Choose the light instead." Let this be your declaration. I will not betray my soul for a fleeting connection. I will not ignore the voice that loves me. You will walk into rooms and feel alignment instead of anxiety, and you will speak your truth and feel peace instead of panic. This is because you will finally be living in spiritual truth, not emotional survival. God hears, your angels hear, that loved one hears, and now everything starts to move. You will see confirmations in the coming days, in unexpected messages, in people revealing their true selves, in dreams, in silence that suddenly feels sacred. And I will not walk past signs sent in mercy. I choose vision, protection, and alignment. If you must, say it out loud. This is your rescue mission, and you have just been saved from something that could have ruined your next 5 years. Write it down, pray about it, act clearly but gently, and move with wisdom rather than fear. And to that loved one who reached through the veil just for you, honor them by choosing peace. This is the message that was almost lost, the one that was nearly buried by distractions, doubts, and your own exhaustion. But heaven fought to keep it alive, and now it's inside you. Honor them by entering the life they never had a chance to complete. Carry their wisdom, heal the bloodline, break the cycle, let them rest, knowing you listened. The seed has been planted. It is up to you to decide what happens next. Choose light, choose truth, choose your soul over your past, and never again ignore the whisper that calls you back to yourself. You did not stumble here by chance. This was heaven's perfect timing. The voice calling your name from beyond one thing serves as a reminder that your life is not over, but rather is just getting started. And if this message opened something inside you, if it reminded you that you are never truly alone, if it made you breathe deeper for even a moment, then let this be the first of many messages that lead your steps into the light. You are being guided now more clearly than ever before. Every sign you have previously ignored is rising again, louder, softer, stronger, and closer because you are finally ready to hear, rise, and move. Your angels are already getting ready for you, so all you have to do is subscribe right now to stay up to date on these divine words. More messages are on the way, messages brought from Heaven's Gate and light in love just for you.